Hello, YouTube. How the hell are ya? This is Around the Sticks with your host, IconicBelow, and today we are talking league stats, records, rostermania, and possibly a little bit about the playoffs that will be happening next week in Austin, Texas. But first, let's give out the league standings, and as it has been for a while, Optic Gaming gets the first seed with 34 and 10 overall record. Going up 3 spots is FaZe 27 and 17. Denial is third, going 27 and 17 as well. Number 2 going down 2 is Elevate in fourth with 26 and 18. Number 3 is TCM 23 and 21. Number 6 going up 1 is Rise 23 and 21 as well. Envy going down 3 is 22 and 22, and number 8 is TK 21 and 23. Now the 4 teams that are going into the relegation tournament are Optic Nation, who ended up 17 and 27, Prophecy, who ended up 16 and 28, AR, who ended up 15 and 29, and Justice, who ended up 13 and 31. Now to look into the final standings for KD ratio and kills per game. Number 1, the rookie Temp at a 1.29 and 30.2 kills per respawn. Number 2, Octane at a 1.23 and 29.5 kills per respawn. Scump at a 1.21 and 32.2 kills per respawn. Number 4, the Asian Invasion Formal at a 1.2, 32 kills per respawn. Number 5, Mad Cat. Somebody got really angry in his cat. Obviously at a 1.16 and 28.8 kills per respawn. Clayster at a 1.15, obviously backpacking Denial with 31 kills per respawn. Number 7 is Huke, the young gun, at a 1.13 and 31.2 kills per respawn. Saints, the dude who can't leave the country, at a 1.1 and 29.6 kills per respawn. Happy, the brand new addition to Orbit, at a 1.09 and 28.2 kills per respawn. Next up is number 10, Slacked, at a 1.08 and 27.1 kills per respawn. Next is the Robot Crimsix in number 11, and he had a 1.07 kills per KD and a 28.1 kills per respawn. Number 12 is the Usher lookalike Proofy at a 1.05 and 26.4 kills per respawn. Looney, number 13, at 1.05 and 27.5 kills per respawn. Number 14, Moose, at a 1.05 and 26.6 kills per respawn. Number 15 is Slasher at a 1.04 and 27.5 kills per respawn. Number 6 is Zuba at a 1.04 and 30 kills per respawn. Next up is 17th is Burns at a 1.03, 27.8 kills per respawn. Number 18 is Mochilla at a 1.02 and 28.1 kills per respawn. 19th is Anticity at a 1.02 as well, 26.3 kills per respawn. And number 20 is JCap at a 1.02 and 27.5 kills per respawn. Now, the reason I went down to 20 is we will be comparing them at the beginning of the league when it starts next month. So we will see who actually has been playing really, really hot this month. Obviously, with players like Burns dropping, Mochilla dropping, we're going to be seeing players like Moose, Proofy, Slacked, Happy, and Saints all jumping up quite a bit. So let's keep an eye out for them because they will be playing hot. Now let's take a look at the relegation teams this tournament going to join the league in a couple weeks in Columbus, Ohio. Now I'm going to go through and break down each team. There will be 4 open slots, and we have about 10 teams that have a good chance at making it back into the league. Now AR, personally, this is one of my least favorite teams. AR is now Lawless, Merc, Balefire, and Felony. This team cannot slay at all, and truthfully, Merc and Felony are the only ones who really can do anything on this team. I don't think Lawless is as good as everybody said he was on, I think that was Aware. Next up is Optic Nation. The new roster is Mochilla, Embos, Miracles, and Ricky. I feel like this team is improved, but not not as much as they possibly could have. I feel like they should have changed out Ricky. With him being that same kind of AR player as Mochila, he's kind of like a step down of Mochila. So maybe if they stepped up and got somebody else other than Ricky, maybe somebody like Facento when he was out there, maybe Happy, if they could have gotten him off orbit, it would have been a bigger step in the right direction. Next up is Prophecy with Aqua, Aches, Octane, and Apathy. After the implode in Season 2, Octane is definitely still a top tier player, and that is going to be something we definitely have to watch. Obviously, with him finishing at a 1.23 KD, he should bring this team to heights that they haven't even seen yet. And this team definitely could contend with FaZe and Optic and stuff like that. So it'll be really nice to see exactly how good this team actually is. And personally, I feel like this is the guaranteed team out of all these 10 teams that could make it. Next up is Epsilon, which is Swanee, Remy, Nagafen, and Royalty. Swanee is back. Let's hope he plays as the top 5 AR he has been. And Royalty is a huge question mark. Many players like Vicento and other players on TR have said that he is one of the best AMs in all of Call of Duty. So we're really going to have to watch him to see how good he is. But that's going to end up coming down to how good their team works and stuff like that. Next up is Strictly Business, Spacely, TCM, Study, and Anticity. Can Study and TCM slay enough to help Anticity as his AR role? That is the major question in this team. Obviously, Spacely is going to be jumping on those flags, but I don't feel like in the end their slaying core of TCM and Study are going to be enough. My main question for them is, will their KD be good enough for them to contend? If they continually die like Spacely normally does on the hill, will TCM and Study pick up enough kills to offset his deaths? Next up is probably my second confirmed team, obviously, is going to be Orbit, which is Vicento, Happy, Burns, and Accuracy. Now, this team is by far my favorite and could definitely be a dark horse to take the entire thing off of Prophecy. But can Accuracy take over the OBJ role and make sure Burns can OBJ slay? That is what they need to make sure Burns does. Obviously, he is a better shot than Accuracy. Accuracy was even playing OBJ when he was playing with Lawless and stuff like that. So he's the person who needs to be taking over the OBJ role, and they need to push Burns to be that Slayer. He was playing on AR. Next up is Synergy, which is Ivy, Legal, Pac-Man, and Miyagi. Is Ivy the Slayer Mud Dog says is my main question, because if he is an objective player, this team is not going to work, especially with Pac-Man already being on the team and not being the greatest Slayer at all. Miyagi, I really hope he gets into the league. I really hope that if something happens with Denial and Clayster decides to leave, that Attach and Replays pick him up, just because I want to see that duo again. They played obviously quite amazing. If you watched X Games last year, it would be really nice to see those two playing together if that's what happens. My main question is, can Miyagi play like he did on Curse? Is he going to shut down all of the S&Ds and things like that? And the last team that has a chance is Killa, Fizz, John, and Twiz. I hope this team makes it. Just between the added gun diversity Fizz and Killa will bring and the cool strats in S&D, they are going to be amazing. John and Fizz are going to have to carry quite a bit of the load, though. That's the major problem I see, especially with Twiz not being the greatest Slayer, and Killa statistically not being one of the greater Slayers in Season 2. He's going to be quite low on the leaderboard. Maybe playing with Fizz and John may help him out quite a bit, but I feel like in the end they should have dropped Twiz instead of Sinful. But in the end, I guess many people can't complain about it. There was a team change that Fizz made, and now Killa and Fizz are together. So in the end, I feel like definitely Prophecy is going to make it. Orbit is going to make it. Those are my two guarantees. And then the last two places I feel are really going to come down to three teams. And that's going to come in between Epsilon, Strictly Business, and E6. The reason I didn't say anything about E6 is when I wrote everything down, E6 wasn't confirmed to be in or not. E6 also could be playing under the name Justice, or Justice could have sold out his spot to E6. So I would really like to know exactly what happened with that. So make sure you guys figure that out as well. So now, obviously, we have to go over the awards for Season 2. There's only 3 awards. There's Rookie of the Year, Standout Player of the Year, and MVP. So now, obviously, we have to go over the first one, Rookie of the Year, and that is Elevates Temp, with his first rank in KD with a 1.29, along with 5th in kills per respawn, along with a 1.3 KD at UMG Cali, so he is not just an online warrior. The standout player of Season 2 for me is Aqua. After placing second at ESWC and Champs, he blew all expectations out of the water, obviously being that Slayer that many teams could look at. It'll be really nice to see how good of a player he actually is playing with a different team now, with Prophecy obviously making changes, picking up Octane. Can he slay as well as he has been? It'll be really cool to see the trio of Octane, Apathy, and Aqua. And last but not least, the MVP race. Truthfully, this was one of the hardest decisions, but it really kind of came down to the report card. It didn't really come down to wins by the team. It came down to who was most important to their team and to the league as a whole. And truthfully, second ended up being Scump. The reason Scump is second is anybody on his team can put up numbers, and this dude has put up quite a few numbers. But I don't feel in the end he is as important as the first player. He, by far, is the second most consistent player in the game, with having a KD over 1.15 in every event I've calculated. I didn't go back and look through every single one, but that, by far, stat is quite amazing to me. Scump has played outstanding in every LAN so far this year. But let's look at the real MVP for this league is the World Championship MVP as well, and that is Clayster. He has completely backpacked his entire team into a top 8 with an amazing 1.15 KD in the league, along with 1.31 at Champs. Personally, this was quite a toss-up, but Clay's win at Champs, and without his team being the best team it possibly could be, especially if you look at Scumps being such a Slayer-heavy team, I would really like to see what would have happened if Scump was put on this team and flipped them, just to see what the hell they would have done. But I feel like in the end, Clay was a more valuable player than Scump, just because of how bad Clay's team is compared to Scump's. I don't feel like Clay would have won Champs without... Well, Scump would have won Champs without having his team. And they didn't win it. Clay won with a worse team and played better. So, truthfully, in the end, Clay is the MVP. So, next week, I apologize for this being so short. And next week will be the Power Ranking show along with X Games. So, I will be watching as many videos on these new teams as I possibly can, and that they will be thrown into the power rankings as well. So the power ranking should go to about maybe 15 or 20, just depending on how many teams I'm able to watch and how many teams actually put up YouTube videos and stuff like that. It's going to be really nice to see how these teams actually work and everything else. I will also be going over X Games and my predictions on who will win and who will lose, but I didn't want to do it a week out from X Games, obviously, because nobody wants to push things that far ahead. So, as always, guys, let's bring the show out. If you guys would like to donate, there is a link down in the description, and there is a code for Cinch controllers, code ICONIC. If you would like to purchase any of those, you get 5% off if you use my code at checkout. So, as always, guys, this has been your boy IconicBelow, and see you fucking later.